soulful conversations spark personal transformation. Today's guest is Sebastián Uzcategui, entrepreneur, founder of Stocks University, speaker, and a guide for those seeking financial independence with purpose. Rooted in faith and driven by a mission to empower, Sebastian's work blends mindset mastery, accessible education, and spiritual alignment. He shared his message everywhere, from podcasts to United Nations. And today, he is here to help us explore how cultivating inner calm and conviction leads to outer freedom and success. Welcome to the show, Sebastian. It's an honor to have you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Mhm. So, Sebastian, you have built a business helping others achieve financial independence. But your message goes deeper than money. How did your personal journey lead you to connect faith, inner calm, and financial freedom?
Well, that's such a good question. Well, truth be told, when you're in the pursuit of prosperity, when you want to find financial independence, you come into contact with one really difficult thing to deal with, a huge obstacle. And it's not the obstacle of the lack of money, it's actually the obstacle that comes with the endless pursuit of money. The unhappiness that comes with a never ending greed for more. And I discovered that I got to a point where I was making a lot of money. I was very happy. I was doing very well. But even with all of that, I was so unsatisfied and unfulfilled. And I realized that the biggest threat that I had run into was finding money without purpose, finding success without purpose or spirituality. So I connected the two. I discovered that I have to at some point learn that what I do, I can't do this for the money anymore. I can't only invest, I can't only trade to make myself money. I have to find a purpose. I have to find something that I can use to truly bring me fulfillment and happiness. So that's the path that I've been walking for in the last 2 years.
That's amazing. And was there a turning point where you realized external success had to start from within?
Yes, and you're absolutely right. External success always has to begin from within. Any success that you achieve from without is going to go away. It doesn't belong to you. Only success that you achieve from within will stick to you. And I think the point at which I learned that was probably when I had spent from the years of 2020 up until 2022, I spent 2 years doing nothing but work, chasing success, chasing money, chasing all of these things. And I realized at that point when I was so unhappy that you can't chase things in life. Everything that you chase by nature wants to run away. You have to attract. When you chase butterflies, what do? They fly away, they run. But when you build a garden, like the Stoics used to write about, you naturally attract those things. You attract beautiful things into your life. When you build yourself up to be a person that naturally attracts success and prosperity to you through fulfillment and purpose, there won't be a day in your life where you're exhausted from chasing your dreams because they will be coming to you instead.
That's such a beautiful bridge between personal values and professional purpose.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it took me a while to come to those conclusions. It was not easy.
Mhm. So, you talk about moving from fear to freedom. What are the common fears you see holding people back? And what's the first mindset shift they need to make?
Well, the first mindset shift needed to get to that position of freedom is first and foremost, understand that you were not put on this planet to build someone else's dream. You're put here to build your own. You're put here to follow your own purpose, your own meaning, your own spirituality. And if you dedicate your entire life to someone else's corporation or someone else's pursuit of happiness, you'll never be happy yourself. The first mindset shift that is necessary is realizing that, well, I would say you have to ask yourself one question first, a very tough question. And that question is, are you actually living your own life or are you just living for someone else's life? Once you discover the answer of that, once you answer yourself difficult truth of whether it's yes or no, I've been living for myself, or no, I haven't even been alive all these years. Once you answer that, you can continue to you can start to move forward and decide for yourself, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a leap. I'm going to start walking in my own footsteps, in my own path, uh, pave my own way. find my own happiness. But you really have to ask yourself that question first and decide for yourself if you truly have been living your purpose, your meaning of happiness, or if you're still looking for it, or even worse, if all you've done your whole life is put money in other people's pockets, fueled someone else's dreams, fueled someone else's corporation, and just been a piece of their puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, how does faith or a sense of higher purpose help quiet those fears?
Well, faith is, I would say, is probably the most important thing when you're working towards and enforcing those perspectives. Because without that faith, whether it's a faith in yourself or in a religion that helps you keep moving forward, the main thing that stops people from succeeding when they're walking their own way, when they're walking towards their own dreams, the main factor that's stopping those people is, hey, this isn't going to work, or hey, I doubt that this is going to make me rich or make me succeed or anything, right? It's doubt. It's this doubt that starts to come into us. And that doubt is where people start to stop their journeys. They start to break apart. They don't follow through. They don't have that same positivity and optimism that they once had because they realize that their mission, their purpose is a lot harder than they ever expected it to be. And you're either the kind of person that faces that difficulty and overcomes it and becomes better, or the kind of person that shies away from it and just gives up entirely and goes back to living for someone else. So, faith is what separates us. Faith is a key factor whether you are going to be the first kind of person that overcomes or the second kind of person that gives up. You have to have faith, an unwavering faith, almost irrational and crazy faith in yourself before you can even consider being able to follow a dream. Because everything in this life, from a rational perspective, is going to want to tear you down. You have to have faith.
It's so powerful how clarity of purpose can silence the loud noise of doubt.
Absolutely right.
Mm. So, in a world obsessed with hustle, how do we balance ambition with inner peace? Can you share a practice or principle that keeps you grounded while growing?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's a huge problem for a lot of people, especially here in the United States. The main issue people run into is a never-ending sense of pursuit. They just keep chasing and chasing and chasing, and they're never happy when they're chasing. So you have a lot of people that are very miserable. Within first world countries, suicide rates and mental illness rates are actually higher than anywhere else on the planet. And within those first world countries, it's in the upper classes, which would seem counterintuitive because you would expect the people that have the most in this world to be the happiest, but it seems to not be the case. And the reason why is because the people that have most in this world tend to be the emptiest because they always somehow still want more. The main exercise or the main practice that I use to never end up that way is I practice gratitude. The higher you up you get in this world, the more you start to succeed, the more that your success just inspires more hunger within yourself. And sometimes that hunger depresses you. Sometimes that hunger crushes you because you just want more and more and more, and you never learn to be happy with what you have. So I pause, I meditate, I choose to be happy. I choose to be grateful for everything that I have. I choose to understand that I am so blessed and I am so fortunate to have everything that I have. And that if I'm going to keep working for more, it's going to be to continue to fuel my purpose, not my pockets. That is the main factor that keeps me happy and keeps me in alignment and keeps me away from this toxic hustle culture that you see sometimes.
Absolutely. And how do you help your students apply this balance in their financial journeys?
Well, that's a really good question. For all the people that I help teach about finance, this balance becomes very important once you begin to actually build yourself up. But a lot of people, especially in their initial pursuit of purpose, their pursuit of prosperity, they struggle with the opposite. They first need to get some leverage. They first need to get some movement up in their finances so they can start to have the time and have the resources to do greater things. A lot of us live trapped in systems because, hey, unfortunately, we have to work to survive, right? But my goal for all my students, more importantly than anything else, is to have them break free first. Once they've broken free, once they have the resources to begin to actually find their purpose and pursue it, that's when I start helping them out with, hey, these are the steps that you need to take if you want to do things this way. But my main and primary goal for all my students is, let's build your finances first. Let's get your money moving first so that way you have the time to actually discover what makes you happy and fulfilled.
I love how intentionality becomes the anchor for both growth and grace.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be intentional. The pursuit of growth and overcoming all these obstacles that we've had, it has to be intentional. People don't succeed by accident, and they especially don't change by accident. Growth doesn't happen that way, and we are all in a position where we know that we need to change. You cannot keep being the same your whole life because you will be left behind. So that necessity for change is very important, but the reason why most people don't change is because they expect to just change by accident, by just floating through life. But change is a deliberate thing that you have to take action for. You have to see what it is that you dislike about yourself. You have to see what it is that you want to become. And you have to see what habits you have to have in order to become that.
hmm Right. So, you have spoken globally, including at United Nations. How do you tailor your message across different audiences while staying true to your mission?
That's a very good question. And it's something that I definitely have had contemplated because I've spoken to so many different kinds of people. But truth be told, I keep my message almost always the same because despite the audience changes, the truth never changes. The truth never does. I can be speaking to anyone of any country, and I actually have spoken to people from all over the world. I have some students and clients from Singapore, some students and clients from India, parts of Africa, parts of Europe, all over the world, really. And my message to them never changes. Sometimes I give them strategies that work within their circumstances because economies vary and circumstances vary, but the mission, the purpose, and the pursuit of that purpose is always the same. It's a universal language that all humans speak. We all want to be free, and we all want to be free enough to be able to find what makes us happy and live that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what's one universal principle you have found that resonates everywhere?
Well, there's two big ones, right? The thing that mostly applies to everyone that speaks without even having to put in any effort. Uh, Money is a universal language, unfortunately. I don't like that that's the truth because I think that money is something that you have to pursue not as a materialistic thing, but as a tool, as a tool for growth, as a tool for movement, as a tool for passion, but it shouldn't be pursued materialistically. That is one universal thing that kind of unites us. But the principle, to answer your question, the universal principle that everyone knows, that everyone can relate to is, hey, if I had freedom, my life would be completely different. Why am I not free? This is the principle that changes everything. What does it mean to be free? Well, it means to not be living under someone else. It means to not be fueling someone else's dream. It means to have the position where you can safely and comfortably do everything that you want to do within your heart, right? That's a freedom that speaks to everyone because since the beginning of time, that's all that humans have wanted. In the beginning, we wanted to be free from nature. Then we wanted to be free from our hunger and our necessity. Then we wanted to be free from each other. And we've ended up in a time where even now, somehow, we're less free than we've ever been. And yet there's more opportunity than ever. So clearly, it's a question of how enlightened are our people, our species, to the opportunities that they have available to them. And that's been my mission, to teach people of the opportunities to achieve that freedom. So that, I would say, is a universal principle that unites everyone that I speak to.
It's incredible how truth transcends culture and circumstances.
Absolutely. It always does. We all, as human beings, have the same experiences. Despite different cultures, we all know what it is that we want. We all know what it is that we are. So we connect on a deep level, no matter where we're from.
Absolutely. So, for someone listening today who feels stuck spiritually, financially, or even emotionally, what's one action they can take right now to align their outer goals with their inner values?
Well, the truth be told, everyone can always take action. We put ourselves into these states of almost like a coma, right? We put ourselves into the state where we almost fall asleep. Even when we're awake, we're sleeping through our lives. When we fall into a routine and we get it too deeply into that routine, our brains go on autopilot and they stop thinking, they stop looking for opportunities, they stop moving. And that's a scary thing because that's when you start to feel stuck. And it's very easy when you go onto that autopilot for time to fly by. Time begins to fast forward. Next thing you know, you're 5, 10 years down the line and nothing has changed. And that's a very scary idea. The thing that everyone can do now to get out of that, if you feel that you're in that, you're stuck that way, is very simple. There's something that you've been thinking about doing. No matter what it is, there's something that you've been wanting to do for some time, something, and you've been holding yourself back. But really, I'm telling you right now, really, there's no reason to not do that thing that you've been thinking about. You're making up obstacles, you're making up problems, you keep telling yourself that it's not the right time, but guess what? There's never going to be a right time, and you have to move now, or else you will never move. And I mean that. You will never move. I have had friends talking to me about making the same moves or same goals or whatever for the last 5 years, and they keep swearing that it's just around the corner, and it never is. You're the one that has to pull the trigger. Whatever it is that you've been thinking about doing, just take that action. And furthermore, very important to realize, if you are in a routine and you feel stuck in life, one thing helps you out of that. One thing that has always helped me: move violently. Take a move in your life. Take a decision. Take a big leap towards something else. Travel or do something. Do something drastic that you've never done before. And the reason why I say that is because when you have been stuck in a routine for so long, you become rusty. Your joints are stuck, they're sticky, and it becomes harder and harder for you to move. Move violently. Take a drastic leap, take a drastic decision so that you get into the habit of moving. So you get into the habit of changing things and you get comfortable in that state. Once you build that momentum, it is so easy to break barriers that you never thought possible before.
Makes sense. So, what's next for you in your mission? To serve others?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I've got one main thing that I want to do. I'm almost achieved the goal that I set out for when I began Stocks University. I have helped over 1,000 people. They're all doing very, very well financially today, thanks to the teachings that I've been able to provide for them. And I have been also teaching leaders. I've been creating leaders to continue to teach the information so that the financial prosperity of these tools that people need to know can be spread around the world, even without me necessarily being involved. My next goal really is to continue to create more leaders. I am going to be starting 2 new businesses this year, specifically teaching public speaking and empowering other speakers. I want to find leaders that find purpose within themselves, and I want to empower them so they can go out into the world with the resources that I will provide for them to continue to have that impact. So that would be probably my next mission right now. But I'm always finding new things. I'm always finding new goals because I am a firm believer that uh, we never stop growing, we never stop learning, and we never stop finding new passions.
Sebastian, thank you for reminding us that true wealth is rooted in purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's my pleasure to be here and to communicate that. It is very much rooted in purpose. There's always 2 types of businesses that I always like to say. Um, you're either a business or an entrepreneur or whatever uh, that is focused on money. And if you are, you're chasing money and you will never succeed. I promise you that. You may make a buck or two, but you're never going to truly succeed. And then the second type of person, business or entrepreneur, is someone that is focused on, again, purpose. And that will naturally attract all this prosperity into your life.
Absolutely. Sebastian, it's been a joy having your inner light. Your wisdom reminds us that peace, purpose, and prosperity are all connected. And listeners, if you are ready to transform your mindset and financial journey, connect with Sebastian at Stocks University or follow his powerful insights online. And until next time, keep aligning your path with your purpose and let your inner light.